Hello everyone and happy Halloween, and today we are discussing Scooby-Doo the movie. Scooby-Doo the movie is probably one of the first ever live action adaptations I saw, releasing 22 years ago back in 2002 and blowing little 8-year-old IMO Review's mind as one of his favourite Hanna-Barbera cartoons came to the big screen. But how has it aged over the years? Let's get into it. Starting with the positives, and a big one for me is that I think they absolutely nail the cast. Everybody involved with this movie feels like the accurate portrayal of their cartoon counterpart. Particularly Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. He completely made that role his own. So much so it almost feels sacrilege to let anybody else be Shaggy while Matthew Lillard is still around. Because it all just comes so damn naturally to him. He nails it, but so do the others as well. I also really enjoy the creativity and the pageantry of the movie. The set design is fantastic. You really don't see it of that ilk anymore. It all just feels so immersive and believable. It feels like you can reach out and touch it, because it hadn't entered that stage of being over-reliant on CGI. And even when it does use CGI, it holds up pretty damn well. In fact, I'd argue there's some CGI in this movie that's better than the CGI we've had in the last few years. The Flash, anyone? For example, Scooby-Doo. He looks pretty damn good here.
Ray, that's me.
I can't imagine being able to do much better than that for 2002. That is pretty high standard. And the way the characters interact with Scooby as well comes across pretty damn believable for a CGI dog. It's very respectful of its cartoon counterpart. It does hit all the right drum beats when it needs to, and even manages to invoke some of that comedic cartoon setting. It's really nice to see a genuine love and effort being poured into the project for Scooby-Doo. They didn't just pick any old name out of a hat and just tell them to get it done and get the money in. No, this really does feel like a passion project. It feels like the people who did it cared and wanted to do it well, and I think it shows in the final product 22 years later. There's fun for the whole family, it'll put a nostalgic smile on your face. It does feel very fitting at this time of year for Halloween as well. I gotta be honest, I think they really damn nailed it with this one. And I'm not afraid to admit, there's even a fart gag in this movie that did make me laugh. I think it's more so from the fact that if you look carefully, it looks like Matthew Lillard genuinely cracks up at this, and I think that's what got me more. But what the hell? I had fun. It is childish, easy breezy, switch your brain off, popcorn Halloween fun. And for that, I had a great time with Scooby-Doo the movie. But Killjoy over here did find just a handful of issues. I do think some characters get better development than others. I kind of feel like Daphne is very much just here to be the pretty one for the boys, because her story ultimately is that she's always the damsel in distress. And then there's a very small moment at the end where she's rescuing everyone else. If that's a character arc, then okay. But personally, it just felt a bit shallow, tacked on. Maybe they did it right at the end when they realised Daphne really didn't have anything to do in this movie. But just a little bit lacking narrative-wise. Especially as we fall into the very generic plot beats of, oh no, the gang has to break up and go its separate ways, and now we have to listen to a very sad Coldplay track and sit with our head in our hands and remember the good times, only to then come back together again. Yes, and you as an audience member are just sitting there waiting for them to get back together again, because we all know they're gonna. And I'm not going to give away the big reveal at the end of the movie. I know it's been 22 years and probably everybody already knows, and no, it's really not that big of a deal anyway. But you know, just in case there is at least one of you out there who's never seen it and you're now intrigued to check it out. But personally, I have always found that final reveal to be a total cop-out. It's a weird one because it's strangely feels too obvious, and yet also it makes zero sense at all. Obvious in the sense of, if you just look at the monster, it's really obvious who it is, but then makes no sense at all in how they actually explain it. The more you think about it, the less sense it makes. But you do have to ask yourself, do you really care? And is it fitting of the cartoon? So any harm done? Not really. Just a tad underwhelming is all. Rowan Atkinson has a very small part in here, but also a lot of fun. There's a very weird scene with Scrappy-Doo that has always lived rent-free in my head and I'll never forget.
Oh god, he's peeing on me!
Scooby-Doo the movie is a real good time for the whole family, and it strangely does still hold up after all of these years. And I'm going to give Scooby-Doo the movie a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen Scooby-Doo the movie? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you haven't had enough of this crazy ginger, we can always click on these suggested videos right here and get yourself lost in an IMO wormhole. But if not, Take care. I look forward to seeing you on the next review.